What's going on, folks? This is Maddie, and I'm here with Dave, the sound guy.
Dave, the sound guy, at your service.
So-
All right. So
Got a lot of
we were
stuff going on. We're going to hit up with something big.
we do, and then we get into some other stuff.
But this is
But,
pretty big right now, so we need to hit this on the nail on the head. Right off the bat.
Well, all right. So from everything I can see, the Clintons are in the crosshairs right now. It's on. It's in the news.
It's in the news.
Like
whether it's
they're
MSNBC
covering
or CNN
it, right.
is trying
It's
to
not
debunk it.
like, It's not
Or
like,
it's Fox trying to push it.
her emails again? Yes, her emails again. And I'll send you a picture of Chris Stevens being dragged into the street and beaten to a bloody pulp.
Yeah. Well, some people will sit there and still try and
Oh, it was
Pass that off.
emails. It was just emails.
emails. Who cares? It's emails. No
Um,
big deal.
is that going to happen?
What? What?
Yeah. Do you think, do you honestly picture in your mind's eye? And I know that you want to see it. I know that I want to see it. I want to believe that the rules apply to everybody. Because I know what would happen if I committed any of those crimes.
Be in jail. Locked up,
They
thrown away.
put the Rosenbergs to death.
Yeah.
And that was for technology, for selling secrets.
You would never
This
see
was.
you would never see the light of day again. Plus, you would have a needle in your arm.
Now here's a question: Does Mueller, as both the special investigator to the Russian collusion that happened with hookers peeing on a bed, what is that even about anymore? Okay, leaving that aside.
Other than that,
Does he recuse himself because he was the bagman on the uranium sale? How does that work?
well, I mean, yeah, because he's investigating Russian collusion, and he is part of the collusion. He is the main player in the collusion. On the other side of the coin, they're trying to pull all this up on Trump. They wanted to find something so bad on Trump, and now we're trying to find out why. Now we're finding out why that they know that eventually what was going on would come out, especially in the Trump administration. As the more time got into his administration, more people will be coming out and saying things, and now you got this coming out. Now this is being brought to the forefront.
And it's being covered. That's
How
like
do you
the
not
key
cover
piece.
it?
They didn't cover it when it all came out in the
We have to
WikiLeaks.
cover it now. Have to cover it.
Yeah.
They have to. I mean, at this point now, this is something that has to be covered. She is right now. She's going in there and she's talked so much crap about Trump. Democrats have talked so much crap about Trump. Oh, he's only colluding with Russia. Russia had a stake in the election. That's why Hillary lost. No, Hillary lost because people hate Hillary. Because people don't like Hillary at all. If people liked Hillary, then Bernie Sanders wouldn't have been a viable competitor for her. All right? Bernie Sanders took a lot of her vote. And then when Bernie Sanders got screwed out of the nomination, screwed. I believe he got screwed out of the nomination.
He would have won.
He would have won. He would have won.
He had the support.
He got screwed. I think what's going to happen with her is, I think at this point now, she had her supporters, but some of the Bernie supporters did not want to go with Hillary. So
yeah, but where would we be at with Bernie?
We wouldn't know. I'm not saying Bernie's any better. I'm just saying is even when Bernie lost, usually you have the people that support that candidate, support the candidate that lost in the primary. They're going to go and back the Democratic candidate over the Republican candidate.
Right.
But the thing is that they could also go and try and back the third party, whoever it's going to be, Jill Stein, Johnson. Yeah, they could have backed one of them. But let's be honest. In the scheme of things, we all know in this country that it's either the Democrats or the Republicans that win. Hillary Clinton, in my eyes, let's see her charged, tried, found guilty, and let this woman never see the light of day ever again. She does not belong being at any level of politics ever again for what she did. You cannot trust this woman. You cannot trust that family. I wouldn't, if the daughter ran, I wouldn't trust her either. All right, that family has lied through and through their whole time in the political arena. From Bill in the Oval Office to Hillary trying to get in the Oval Office, Hillary, after losing the attempt to getting into the Oval Office, Hillary, as a Secretary of State in the Obama administration, that totally, completely dropped the ball on multiple occasions. And now, even though we all know about what's happening with the whole Uranium One deal, and this has all been in the, people have known about this now for at least a year, if not a little more. But now, it's coming to the forefront again because it's going to be able to be confirmed, and now news sources are actually having to cover this. Something has to happen. If this goes by and this woman just walks away with not a damn thing happening to her, how can you believe in any justice system this country even says it has? You can't. The woman, at the very least, Hillary needs to come up on charges. No doubt about it. That's what I believe. Will it happen? Probably not. Like I said before, you asked me that question. What do I think's going to happen? Like I said, once again, I'll recap it. She'll go in, she'll, at least her, she'll walk in there with her lawyers. She will not go in handcuffs. She'll plead in front of the judge to be arraigned. She'll plead not guilty. Accept bail. She'll out of there. Go to court. It would be another televised court proceeding. The country loves to watch. And everybody will be watching this one. It's going to be ratings for all the news stations possibly. MSNBC and CNN will go right up to the roof of all the liberals that watch. The liberals aren't going to watch it Fox. Liberals aren't going to be watching Fox's coverage of it. So this is going to be news. It'll be even more. Fox will get all the Republicans and any independents out there that go to Fox News. They'll be watching that glued to the television. I feel bad if it's on during the World Series next year because I'll tell you this much.
Oh, they wouldn't do that. They're not gonna. No. They delayed the trial.
Well, if you think about it, not really, because the trial's during the day and the World Series said that. Probably not. Yeah.
The World Series of Treason Trials.
There you go.
That's kind of where we're at, right?
Pretty much.
This is, I mean.
So, I think it's good.
When playoffs are done, I think we've got all the players in place.
Yeah.
We'll see if Mueller recuses himself.
I hope so.
That's and if we get this earlier, I'll cut it. But if Mueller doesn't recuse himself based on the fact that he was the delivery of the uranium sample in that Uranium One deal, then I think that's proof positive that this self-recusal system does not work, does not have any effect.
Just another way to rig the government against the people.
On to lighter news.
Literally lighter news. Lighter news.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
We are being inundated with meteorites.
117 fireballs in the past 24 hours has actually come into the Earth's atmosphere.
I'm going to flash the big do not panic sign. We typically get between 6 and 10 a day. And they're not remarked on. Some of them hit. They're typically very small. This is just a very high number.
Yeah, 24-hour period.
Right. So.
But also, there is also a meteor shower that's been going on the past few days.
Right.
Right. So you probably looking up in the sky. It could be meteors. It could be fireball. Because basically, a lot of these fireballs that they say they come out pretty much. It's your usual shooting star that you see. If you look up at the right time at night, you see one flying through the sky. I think 6 or 8. So basically, what you're saying is, if you're in a clear part of the country with no cloudy weather or anything, clear sky, you should be able to look up and be able to get a pretty good light show. At least in the last 24 hours.
Well,
which is hopefully none of these actually come in and hit the Earth. And
we kind of get these in passing, these alerts from the various places on the globe. Check. Past Paul Bigley. Group 7, of course, is
BP Earthwatch.
BP Earthwatch. it's something to be aware of, you know. Whatever your theories are. I don't know if you follow this Nibiru Planet X thing. It's one of those things that I because I had always dismissed it without any evidence, I had to look into it. And
I've followed it myself a bit.
and it becomes one of those like flat Earth type things where it's like, okay, no, I can't personally prove or disprove anything, so I'm just gonna. As far as I'm concerned, if there's a planet gonna hit us, there's nothing I can do anyway. So I'm gonna go about my life and hope I don't get hit by a planet.
See, but we go through life every day hoping that something like
Hoping that we don't get hit by a planet,
no, hope
or a bus,
or a nuclear bomb going off, or anything, you know, or anything could happen, you know,
anything.
You know, so the old saying says is, thank God every morning you wake up because no one's ever guaranteed it tomorrow.
It's not an old saying. It's just
The saying that's been around for a while.
You just made that up just now.
What?
That
I didn't make that up.
you just said, yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
No
one's guaranteed it tomorrow.
Fact check that one.
No one's guaranteed it tomorrow.
No, you are not promised tomorrow, as Owen said.
Yeah, you're not promised tomorrow.
Great band that was. I don't even know if they're playing anymore. Stuck Mojo. I'm trying to find a place of Stuck Mojo, just cause. Did I write?
Okay.
So, Vladimir Putin. If this guy is not a psychopath, he is the Jack Nicholson of politics. Oh boy. So I'm going to read from the Sun. The normally icy veined Putin appeared scared at the prospect of super soldiers. He revealed that scientists are close to breaking the genetic code which would enable them to create a human with pre-designed characteristics. This is the best part. Speaking at a youth festival in Sochi, Putin warned of the consequences of playing God with man's genetic code, reports The Express. And it goes on to spin out on that topic a little bit.
Playing God pretty much.
It's the process of human enhancement's been going on for what do you think steroids are? Chemical enhancement, now genetic enhancement. This is gonna continue, and it's almost inevitable at this point.
Well, it's like everything else, you know. You just don't stop when you get to a certain point. You just keep on going until you see how far you can get.
Obviously, he was talking to a group of kids at the youth festival here, but that was a message to the world. Is this technology is coming, underlying meaning, this technology is here. That was a warning.
Yeah.
That you don't want to get involved in a land war. Period.
Well, yeah, because
he's not going to say something like that.
No.
Just to,
They're going to throw it out there. Yeah. He's definitely.
Could he be full of shit?
He could be.
Absolutely. That could totally be a bluff.
Of course it could be.
And maybe we'll put that up. We'll take the odds on that one. But
yeah.
But regardless, we've been merging with technology. You don't go anywhere without your phone.
No.
They've already experimented with putting that on your face and putting it on your wrist, and really the next step is inside you. That's it. And
microchip.
Between that and what he's talking about with the manipulating genetics, it's a reality. It's part of the skillet of shit that we're gonna be served up
all at once.
Yeah.
It just seems like.
So, we got a corrections officer, and I want to get the name right. Give me a moment. Get
Gee, a corrections officer in trouble, you know,
corrections officer was, let me break here. There we go.
What did this fool do?
Stephen Salmack was arrested on child pornography charges in
Steven likes his cheese pizza.
Lodi.
Cheese pizza from Lodi, New Jersey. Most likely. It'd be really good
So-
cheese pizza out there.
Right. Now, that's a very key piece of information. Is that confirms again, same as with the uranium one deal. When it came out in the wikis, it was conspiracy theory. Now this is an arrest. Someone in law enforcement using that same code.
What does that code mean?
CP, cheese pizza, child pornography. He had posted on Craigslist that he was looking for mothers who were into cheese pizza. Now it sheds a new light, first of all, on the emails. And I encourage people to take an honest look at that the same way that you would force yourself to do with anything else that you felt was a threat to your family, people that you care about. You need to be aware that that's part of their, and honestly, I'm very surprised they're still using that particular code. No,
How have they this done? To go out there and put
That's
this stuff
the
on the
thing.
internet. It's
That's
like,
the
do
thing.
they want to get caught at this point? Because you know people are looking, you know
Is-
people are watching this stuff.
right.
So why are you putting this out there? Why are you putting up cheese pizza? If it's a known freaking code, it's been out there for a while.
It's-
Why would these?
It's-
I know they
it's
do
weird.
it, but why do they do it? Well, why? And if they're gonna, you're a law enforcement officer. Don't you think you freaking know if you put that out there? You
Crying out
put
loud,
yourself out there.
you know, have you looked at any of the cases of your inmates? Because I'm sure that there are people that this man has dealt with in the correction system that probably
He was guarding the same
similar
people. He's
drug-
guarding people that
Exactly.
seem that person that he is. You know.
Well, but it's all, you know, and now it's being reported on. Corey Feldman, who we talked about a little bit, he's been trying to draw attention to this problem. He got scolded on The View for it.
Oh, you don't say The View.
Did another interview and talked about it honestly, and said that he was going to, basically start Ames and really,
Why
well, right now he's in custody, arrested for cannabis
I did not know
in
that. Where?
Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah. So
How much cannabis?
I don't know, but what I do know is he is probably in a very dark room right now, and they're feeding what's his name there, Harvey Weinstein, to the wolves. He's done with his sex therapy, by the way, 7 days,
Oh,
and he's
cured.
yeah. So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a miraculous
and again,
recovery.
it's gonna. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a similar situation. I think he's going to walk into court with his team of attorneys, and he's going to get probation. He's going to say, no, you really need to really do some counseling because you have a serious. What they want to do is make make these things, if they can't legalize something like pedophilia, which is what
They want to
that would
make
be
it
like, right,
disease.
so that it's treated
Treated
like,
disease.
right, a condition, and, we're gonna send them to a locked facility, but
So you treat it like necrophilia or something like that, you know, for some crazy freaking outlandish.
that's a crime though too, isn't it?
So was freaking child pornography a crime? So was pedophilia a crime?
Right. And as of right now, it's being treated like a crime. DSM-5 is leaning in a much more clinical direction. That, and that's something, we can get into that. But I would also encourage people, and this is important, is put the, put the conspiracy part of your mind away for a moment on this topic, and ask yourself how many pedophiles do you know? How many known predators are in your circle of people that you deal with on a regular basis that you know of? Okay.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be knowing them very quickly.
I know one person personally that I went to high school with. I wouldn't say a friend, more like. Now I'm trying to distance myself because of the crime, but I found out years later, because I check the registry in like all the towns around here. There's nothing. Always check the registry in like the area surrounding you, because perverts don't stay in their neighborhood. They go out and they,
Yeah.
they hunt.
Yes,
They're predators.
Yes,
They're
you want to know where they are
in nature. And this is just me, but I would say that most, if not all, of them have a demon riding shotgun. So understand that you don't include those people, and also that is probably the crime that someone will go the farthest to cover. You would rather have your name in a murder than that. Even the child pornography, that is as bad of a stigma as someone can ever carry, and they should. And
yeah, you should. You should definitely for the rest of your life. You should be on that registry if you did.
But it's someone's producing. Someone has kids and they're producing this stuff. They're making these pictures and these movies that people buy. That's where we have to strike. That's the heart. You can cut off the heads, but they're going to grow back. And unfortunately, as long as there's a demand, there will be a supply. That's how the black market works.
Of course.
But what needs to happen is it needs to be the fear of the punishment. Like, you can't explain to these people that they need to fear hell because that's where they're going. They won't get that. They'll look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
So the punishment here needs to be so conscionable that someone who's thinking of committing that crime doesn't want to be drawn, quartered, disemboweled, and
Castration.
They.
Chemical castration.
That's one of the things. Like, all right, so that's a good solution, I think. And it's also, and we said this before, because that is also one of the number one things that is accused that ends up becoming a crime for people. Again, now this is someone in my circle, I don't count him among predators because I know the situation, and not from him. I know from other parties who were involved, and it was and it was a legal sucker punch, and it worked, and that does happen some of the time. So I know there's no way to be sure, but
You could be on the registry, even if
But
you're
the thing
exposing
is
yourself,
that-
you could be on there.
Yeah, yes, I actually know somebody else, and again, okay, so maybe there's a, but the point that I was trying to make is um, in these political circles, in these, Hollywood circles and what have you, music business, whatever, okay, when it's, and when you look at your contacts in your phone and can tick off, 10 pedophiles, 12 pedophiles, you know what I mean? But it's right. I mean,
It's like a company
look
to
at,
keep.
all right, so just look at Anthony Weiner and that, and as sick as the texts were, that shit's considered mild to what was found on the other guy's computer. The guy that was the assistant to the mayor,
Yeah.
his father was somebody special. I'm not gonna look up his fucking name, but it's not just pornography, it's torture. Like these are sick-minded, and people don't get it. And it's you don't want to think about something. You don't want to think about all the things like that. But they exist. They're there. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody is making these films for these fucking now. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do the perp walk for their crime of obtaining it. You're a sick fuck, and you're funding an industry that is, well, you can go down that road for hours and hours, but all the horrible industries that we've done around the world. But on this one topic, I'm not saying that the smaller fish shouldn't fry, but we have to find the big fish.
We have to find the big offenders,
Right,
major
and
offenders.
that's the kind of thing, like you gotta have your eyes up, man. When you go to Walmart, you ever look at the board of missing kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of these kids are not kids anymore, right? They're missing in the 90s. Are there not new missing kids that maybe you should put up? It's sick, and it's a problem that it's not being addressed. And well, fuck, man, if we're gonna have a government, like that's like the one job. You know what I mean?
Keep children safe.
Exactly.
Keep the children
Exactly.
safe.
Don't fuck with people so they nuke us. Sick of that shit. If nukes are real. Which, I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe. It could be. We're way off the rails tonight. You know what? I don't care.
Well, I mean, we obviously use them. We used 2 of them, Japan.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I mean, do we have more?
oh, I'm not.
there?
Yeah, I don't actually want to. You know, there are things in this world so much worse than nukes right now that it boggles the mind to some kind of say goodbye to the people, and nobody's listening.
Nobody lives with it.
So
But
this
for
is
the, for the few people that are listening, we have 1, 2 people that listen. That's our take on the world tonight. We will be back next week.
We'll be back when
When
we're
we're
back.
back.
Yeah, we're not. Again, if you look at news, look
Look
elsewhere.
up, yeah.
Actually, look at some of that. I just went on and subscribed to a couple of the channels that. Check out the subscriptions. I think they're public. If not, we're making public.
Yeah.
And go to the same starting place that we go to. And I research stuff as much as possible. I think it honestly, they can tell me anything. I will have to take it with a grain of salt, regardless of how good about the question is. Pictures already in there.
Yeah.
And even pictures.
Next week is Halloween. It's Tuesday. So, we do a show, we do a Halloween show. If we don't do one, keep a week off.
Alright. If we can get 100 likes on this video, this dude is gonna dress up like Dr. Frank, like Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and yeah, we'll live stream 100 likes. Let's do this thing. This is a horrifying thought.
Yeah, it's a very horrifying
Just, yeah. Yep.
So, on that note, we will be back when we're back. So, have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Have a good week.
See you when
Have
you
a nice
see
life. And catch you on the flip side.
Ice is God.
Peace.